Ever wondered why Frida Kahlo, the renowned Mexican painter, sported a unibrow? Well, it wasn't just a fashion statement. Frida Kahlo, born in the summer of 1907, was an artist who was as distinctive as her artwork. Raised in Mexico City, her life was filled with vibrant colors and bold contrasts, much like her paintings. From an early age, it was clear that Frida wasn't one to blend into the background. Her unique sense of style was a heady mix of traditional Mexican attire with a twist of the unconventional. And among the many details that set her apart, perhaps the most striking was her distinctive unibrow. Now, you might wonder, why would a woman choose to embrace such an unconventional feature? In a world where women were often expected to conform to societal norms of beauty, Frida's unibrow wasn't just a stray hair out of place. It was a symbol of her individuality, her rebellion against the status quo. Frida Kahlo was not just an artist, she was a rule breaker, a boundary pusher, a woman unafraid to be herself in a world that often demanded conformity. Her unibrow wasn't a flaw to be hidden, but a feature to be celebrated. It was Frida's way of saying, "This is me, take it or leave it." This unibrow, much like Frida herself, was not meant to be tamed. It was wild, untamed, and beautiful in its own unique way. And it wasn't just about aesthetics. It was a reflection of her strength, her resilience, and her refusal to be anything but authentic. In a world that often seeks to smooth out the rough edges, to fit everyone into neat little boxes, Frida Kahlo stood out. She didn't just accept her unibrow, she embraced it. She celebrated it. She wore it like a badge of honor. It was a testament to her spirit, a symbol of her defiance, a sign of her indomitable will. So you see, Frida's unibrow wasn't just a style choice, it was a bold statement of individuality and resistance. Frida's life wasn't always about art and unibrows. In fact, it was a life-altering accident that led her to pick up the paintbrush. In September of 1925, Frida Kahlo was involved in a horrific bus accident that altered the course of her life. She was merely 18 years old, a vivacious young woman with dreams as vast as the Mexican sky. The collision was brutal, leaving her with severe injuries including a broken spinal column, collarbone, and ribs. Her right leg was fractured in 11 places, her foot dislocated, and her shoulder crushed. It was an event that would leave most of us devastated, but for Frida, it was a catalyst for transformation. Confined to her bed, she was left with nothing but time and pain. It was during this period of physical immobilization that she began to explore the world of painting. Frida's mother had a special easel made so she could paint lying down, and her father lent her his box of oil paints. It was as if the universe conspired to hand her a paintbrush, a canvas, and an opportunity to create a new world within her limited confines. Now, here's a little-known fact that often gets overlooked. Frida's first painting was a self-portrait. She once said, "I paint myself because I am so often alone, and because I am the subject I know best." It was a reflection of her reality, a physical manifestation of her internal turmoil and a testament to her resilience. The accident indeed marked a turning point in Frida's life, but it also marked the birth of one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. Her art was a mirror to her soul, a reflection of her pain, her strength, and her indomitable spirit. It was deeply personal, raw, and unfiltered, resonating with people across time and space. So it was amidst pain and suffering that Frida found her true calling, painting. The Brush with Death brought forth an artist whose work continues to inspire and captivate, reminding us that sometimes it is in our darkest hours that we discover our brightest lights. Frida's life was as colorful as her paintings, and a significant part of that color was brought by her tumultuous relationship with the fellow artist, Diego Rivera. In the whirlwind of the Roaring Twenties, a passionate and stormy love story began to unfold. Frida Kahlo, a young artist of remarkable talent, met Diego Rivera, the established muralist who had already made his mark on the art world. Despite the 21-year age difference and Rivera's reputation as a notorious womanizer, the two were married in August of 1929. Their marriage was anything but conventional. Frida and Diego shared a common passion for art, politics, and each other, but their relationship was also marked by mutual infidelities and explosive arguments. Yet it was this very turbulence that fueled their creativity and gave depth to their art. Now here's a twist many might not know. Frida and Diego had an open relationship. Yes, they allowed each other the freedom to have extramarital affairs. For them, love wasn't confined within the conventional boundaries of monogamy. This, however, didn't mean their relationship was devoid of heartache and jealousy. In 1939, Frida and Diego's marriage reached a breaking point and they divorced. But the story doesn't end there. Just a year later, they remarried, as if they were two magnetic poles unable to resist the pull towards each other. Their second marriage was no smoother than the first. Still, their love persisted, enduring through the heartbreak and the heated arguments. Their relationship was a testament to their belief that love, much like art, is messy, chaotic, and beautifully imperfect. Through all their ups and downs, Frida and Diego remained an integral part of each other's lives and art. They were each other's muse and critic, sharing a bond that was as deep and complex as the vibrant hues on their canvases. Their love story, much like their art, continues to captivate us, reminding us that love in all its forms is indeed a work of art. Through all their ups and downs, Frida and Diego remained an integral part of each other's lives and art. Frida Kahlo wasn't just an artist, she was a symbol of resilience and rebellion. A woman of many facets, Frida's influence extended far beyond the confines of her vibrant and surrealistic art. She was not just an artist, but a pioneer, a champion for the marginalized, and an icon of defiance against societal norms. One of the less explored dimensions of Frida's life was her sexuality. She was openly bisexual, a fact that was often overlooked during her lifetime. This was a time when such openness was considered taboo, and yet, Frida, in her characteristic style, defied societal norms. She had relationships with both men and women, and she never tried to hide it. Her unapologetic acceptance of her bisexuality was a bold statement, one that resonated with the LGBTQ+ community, making her a beacon of hope and acceptance. Frida's influence wasn't confined to the LGBTQ+ community. She was a feminist icon, a woman who refused to be defined by the societal expectations of her time. She was unashamedly herself in her art, in her life, and in her love. She rejected the traditional roles of women, choosing instead to live life on her own terms. She was a woman who painted herself, not as a beautiful object to be admired, but as a person with strengths, with flaws, with pain, and with passion. Her self-portraits are a testament to her resilience, her struggle, and her rebellion against the confines of societal expectations. She painted her reality, raw and unfiltered, and in doing so, she empowered generations of women to embrace their truth, their pain, their beauty, and their power. Frida Kahlo's life and art were a symphony of colors, emotions, and defiance. Her influence continues to ripple through time, inspiring artists, activists, and dreamers alike. She was a woman who dared to be different, who dared to be herself, and in doing so, she became an icon. Frida Kahlo's legacy extends far beyond her paintings. She continues to inspire and challenge us with her courage and defiance. Frida once said, "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." And true to her words, she painted till her last breath. Her later years were a whirlwind of health complications, but Frida Kahlo, never one to surrender to life's hardships, continued to create art that resonated with her experiences. By the early 50s, her health had deteriorated significantly, confining her to a wheelchair and even a bed at times. But that didn't stop her. Instead, it became another aspect she incorporated into her art. In 1954, Frida's life came to an end. It was a year of political triumphs and personal tribulations for her. She attended a demonstration against the US-backed overthrow of Guatemalan President Jacobo Arbenz, her last public appearance, despite being severely ill. In the midst of this turmoil, just 8 days before her death, Frida completed her last painting, a still life, Viva la Vida, watermelons. It was a celebration of life in the face of death. The watermelons, ripe and vibrant, burst with color against a somber background, a testament to Frida's enduring spirit and her ability to find beauty even in the bleakest moments. This final painting, like many of her works, was a reflection of Frida's reality, a poignant blend of joy and sorrow. It was as if she was bidding farewell to the world in the only way she knew how, through her art. Frida Kahlo passed away on July 13, 1954. The cause of her death was officially reported as a pulmonary embolism, but some speculate it may have been suicide, a theory fueled by her haunting words, "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." Frida Kahlo's life was as vibrant and enduring as her art, filled with pain, passion, and a deep desire to live life on her own terms.